Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here with your messages, your soul messages, psychic soul messages, and a prediction or two for the week of, December 2nd through the 8th. Daisy is outside of the room, outside of my office today. She's in another room. She doesn't like the microphone, and I forgot I was going to even use it today. So hopefully you can hear me a little better. We've got a new microphone coming in, and hopefully that will be a little bit easier for Daisy, but she doesn't like this one. I think it hurts her ears. So she asked to stay outside, so she's sending all of you her love. Okay, let's get going. Oh, this week is still going to be a little bit crazy, but it's almost like it's starting to calm down, but that fallout is still very, very strong. So it's going to get, it's almost like we don't really have a lull. I don't want to say it's a lull, but there's almost a little bit of calm, a little bit of change, but there's still a lot of craziness, and I want to say expect a lot of craziness and revelations to come this week. Now, many of them you're going to think, I already knew that, didn't I? But you're still going to be surprised, and you're still going to shake your head and go, oh, is this really happening? And that a lot of that, by the way, is talking about politics in the U.S. You know, an ancient prophecy from multiple cultures says that this period of time that we are living in, that all the truths will come out. So trust that. All the truths are coming out. Think about the internet and how the internet doesn't allow truth to stay hidden anymore. So the truths are coming out, aren't they? Yep. It may seem like the world is a bit turning upside down and is totally gone berserk, but you know, I think of it, it's like our trash cans. We have to turn them upside down to get rid of the trash. And so we need to turn the earth upside down a little bit in order to shake it out, to get rid of those fears and those hates, and to allow love to come in, to fill up our world with something so much better than racial tensions or harm to others, or the fear that causes so much harm to others and to ourselves. I do want to ask you to please continue to hold the Border Patrol and those seeking asylum in your prayers. Keep watching out for them. It seems to have sort of calmed down a little bit, not as bad as this last week where we saw mothers with their children running from tear gas sprayed by the government of the country I live in. When we knew this caravan was coming, I don't know why this administration did not send help and buses for these people, food and other help. Instead, we just tear gassed them. I am very ashamed of the administration that currently represents my country. For those of you in other countries, please know that this administration does not represent the majority of Americans. It's a long story how this administration got into power, but please know the vast majority of us do not approve of the current administration's tactics against the people seeking asylum in the southern border. Now, what I want you to know is this is an extremely important time to form community. If you are not currently in a community, please create one or join one. One of the communities that I have is the Sacred Path, and this registration is open by the way, for 2019. This is a year-long workshop, a year-long mystery school, and we do meet once a month. So join us or another community, but community is going to become very, very important. I'm not sure why. That's not true. I do know why. I just don't want to really get into it right now, but we are going to need to be able to hold on to and rely upon our communities. And if you're not currently a part of a social media community, or if you are part of Facebook, please friend me, because that's part of my community, is my Facebook timeline, and also the Spiritual Path, which is my page. One of the things we do in my workshops is related to healing. But we use some scientifically proven methods. One of those I want to talk about today. It's called neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity didn't even exist in some of you who are listening in your lifetime. It's only, I want to say, less than 30 years where it's really come into its own. At one time, we thought the brains did not rewire themselves, so to speak. Neuroplasticity teaches us that the brain can rewire itself. And in rewiring itself, it can change patterns. It can change thoughts. Now, put that up here. And there's something else I want to talk to you about. Einstein tells us there is no time, not as we know it. There is no past, future. There's just the present. So if we think about that, since time doesn't exist as we normally think about it, think about that child in us, that child who was imprinted with all of the thoughts of our parents and our teachers and all of that collective consciousness. And by the age of 5, most of that is already set. So our belief systems are caught in that childhood. Now, if we think about everything happening in the present, we're going to pull that back in here, that idea of Einstein tells us. If we think of everything happening in the present, that child that took all this imprinting still exists in the present, just in a different, shall we say, warp a little bit, or a different field of existence. Let's say that, a different field of existence. Which means that as adults, we can talk to that child. We can use neuroplasticity to actually rewire, or neuroplasticity tells us that we can actually rewire our brains. So what this means is when a fear comes up, instead of our thoughts automatically, something triggers our thoughts, and our thoughts automatically go to fear with that trigger, we can actually literally rewire our brains so that we shift that perception, because it's that 5-year-old child that is fearful. We can comfort that child. We can rewire our brains so our adult perspective shifts. I know this is a complicated thought, a complicated premise, but I hope I've explained it enough that it makes sense. Because what can happen as loving adults, we have a responsibility to ourselves and to our world to actually shift those childhood thoughts, those childhood fears, and rewire our brain, which neuroplasticity tells us we can. Rewire our brain so we have more loving thoughts. So we heal those old wounds that we picked up as children, that we came into this life with, many of us, to heal. And as we heal those old wounds, we can then change the brain patterns, and we can live in a place of love. And we have that responsibility to live in that place of love. Living in that place of love allows us to reach out to a community of loving people. It allows us to take responsibility for our lives, but also to be able to take responsibility for helping to heal the world. Not to take it on our shoulders, not to say we do it. We simply can, by healing ourselves, we simply help to heal the world. And by reaching out in love to others, not to tell them how to live their lives, not to do it for them, but by reaching out in kindness and in love, by reaching out, smiling at the grocery clerk, smiling at the store cashier. This is a tough time to be in retail. And think about, as people rush in to buy their last minute gifts for Christmas, or rush in to buy those groceries we forgot to stock up on. There's somebody on the other side of the cash register who isn't home with his or her family, but is there serving you. Let's be kind to each other. Let's reach out to each other. When I taught college or at the university, one of the things I would always say in a speech class, for example, when I was teaching presentation skills, I would always, or a religious class, I would always tell, or a class on religion, I should say, a little bit of difference there, but I would always tell the students, think about it like this, how words matter, and what you put out into the world really matters. If I'm standing in line to get my groceries paid for, let's say, well, I may walk up to that when it's my turn, and let's say I'm grumpy. And the clerk says, hello, and I go, well, that energy goes to the cashier, who then may pass it on to the person standing behind me next in line. I get out to put my groceries in the car, and that person who was behind me is kind of grumpy because the cashier was grumpy, because I was grumpy, and pushes his cart into my car, which creates even more upset, and we end up out on the road with road rage. Anger begets anger. But you know what? Love begets love. So let's look at that, because that's more exciting. So let's say I go in, I see the cashier, and I get in, I'm up there putting my groceries on. She says, hello, and I go, hello, how are you? And I will tell you, many cashiers are kind of taken back by that. Well, she's feeling a little bit better, and the man behind me comes up, and he's kind of a little, and she goes, hello, how are you? And he perks up. Love begets love. Let's spread it, especially this holiday season, and especially in this time of craziness. Okay. I want to again stress community, because over the next several months, and even into the next few years, I can't tell you how important being part of a community is going to be. So please, do get to be part of a community. If the Sacred Path is for you, join our community. We'd love to have you. You can find out more about the Sacred Path simply by looking below. My website's below. Go on the website and look under seminars and workshops. You can also, if you want a private reading or coaching sessions, please do that as well. Just give me a call. My number is listed on the website. Give me a call and we'll talk and see how we can help you. All right. I want to get a message from Philip. Oops, got the book backwards. I did order a new microphone set, and it should be here hopefully in the next few days. And then I won't have to hold this microphone. But this is our book. It's an oracle book. It's the Master's Book of Answers by Philip. Philip is my spirit guide. And in this book, each page has a different wisdom on it. So we always think left page or right page when we get our wisdom from Philip. And before I pick a page here, I'm just going to flip through. I can't really hold this and tell you, but I just kind of flip through and turn to a page and think left page or right page. However, I want to first say thank you so much. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I can't stress that strongly enough. That just thank you so much for being with me, for putting up with me perhaps, for your comments. I'm hoping to get to those comments this coming weekend, if not before. Sometimes I do get a couple of weeks behind. I get them on I get the comments through my email account, So I can read them, but it takes me a little bit longer to get around and actually answer each and every comment. So no, every comment that comes, I just say thank you to when I read the comment, and I like to come on and thank you through the here on the channel as well. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's see what Philip has to say. Shall we think left or right page? Okay. I've got the page here. And by the way, I'm thinking of right, but I also do want to read the left. And I love it when some of you contact me and say, I thought right, and you chose right. All right, here we go. Obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. Obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. Whether that's in our private life or that's in the world. Just remember, obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. We are holding each other's hand, helping each other stay in love. The left side says, when you stop another from giving to you, you also stop the flow they have chosen for their lives. Oh, I think that's a good message. We're coming up on the gift-giving time, the time of Christmas, and how many have said, when someone gives you a gift, you say, oh no, you shouldn't have. Well, stop that and just say, thank you. I appreciate your gift. Because when you stop another from giving to you, you also stop the flow they have chosen for their lives. All right, my friends, from Daisy and myself, just quick recap. Community is going to become increasingly important. This week is going to be a little bit crazy, but there's also almost a normal in the craziness. It's not normal that a lot's going to take place that you're going to say, gosh, I think I knew that, but I'm still shaking my head. Is this really happening? There are changes in the world order, and certainly the U.S. has a lot to do with that. Remember, neuroplasticity now shows us that we can rewire our brains, by the way, at any age. So get busy. Let's let those old triggers be changed to new triggers that instead of triggering fear, trigger love. I will see you next week. Hopefully I will hear from a lot of you. Again, private consultation. Just give me a call and we'll set up an appointment for you. And for those of you who are ready, I will see you in Sacred Path. Get registered. I love you, my friends. From Daisy and I, we thank you for the love that you give to us. Until later, bye for now.